brilliant where you are now.
2.5 years, but I'm now feeling back to my own self. So it's not going to happen overnight, but you just need to stick with it.
Well, that's a good message for the students to hear, because and when I was a student, I used to think that you could fix somebody with persistent pain like that, or you had to teach them how to live with it. And you know, I kind of thought that you know, I would look for quicker results with people. But really, with a lot of persistent pain, it's going to take time, and there's a lot of wee things that need to change to get you back on track, because you've come so far off track, haven't you? And you were
yeah.
you were so far off track that it was going to take quite a while for you to get back on track and for you to find your way. And what I did was just help you to start changing some things.
Exactly, that's what you did. You helped it to change it and set the ball rolling. And like you say, then you need to do wee bits yourself, see what works for you, what works, what doesn't work, and things like that. And not cutting yourself slack, because I was too hard on myself. I just wanted to go, right, here we go, this is what we want to do. I was very logical. I'm quite a black and white person. I just wanted to, everything to slot into place, and it wasn't slotting into place. So you just need to do wee bits and pieces at a time, see what's working for you, and cut yourself some slack. That doesn't work. Okay, if that's giving you more pain, just stop it just now.
Yeah, yeah.
The terminology, you changed my mindset. I always had years and years thinking my back was weak. And me as a fitness instructor, my back couldn't be weak. It just physically couldn't be weak. So changing my mindset, I always say now, oh, my back's a wee bit sensitive to that now. Not doing that then, I'll just leave that. Or can I do this in another way? So you were open. I always thought, because I was a fitness instructor, I always thought there was a one way and that was it. So it was one way and that was it. I didn't realise, you know, I wasn't thinking, oh no, I can't do that, but I can do that. Do that.
And I think I remember saying to you, are you joking, Maureen? You're probably 10 times stronger than me.
I mean, I was still doing some classes, and I was doing planks, and I was doing other things, but I still had this pain in my back, you know, that wasn't going, so that was a frustrating thing.
And your muscles were like this when I met you, weren't they?
All tight and tense and things like that. So because I get myself so much in a state about it, and the pain took over my life and nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered. It was just a one-track mind.
Again, for the students, if you think of over the 2.5 years that you've had problems with your back, pain in your back, at times disabling pain, really disabling pain. What do you think, what do you think are the biggest things that have made the difference over the 2.5 years? I mean, I know it's lots of things.
Yeah.
But can you summarize that? What do you think has helped over the 2.5 years?
First of all, getting the right help.
Yeah.
I always say that. It's getting right. I had been seeing previous people in the past with my back, and nothing seemed to help me. It wasn't until, like I say, I came to you, right, that was the right help for me, you know, and because it was, I always said this, it was the empathy, the listening, the active listening, right? I was always told in the past just to try and manage it and just try and get on with it, keep doing what you're doing, keep the status quo. But I kept on saying to people, well, I'm doing everything by the text, the book, doing everything by the book. It's not working, but it wasn't going in. I've just had a message, sorry, I'll just cancel out of that. It's just somebody trying to phone me there, sorry.
That's all right.
It wasn't going in, so they weren't actually looking what I needed to do. It wasn't until I came to you that you said, right, okay, let's talk about this, let's get the history, let's see what you can do, let's see what you can't do. Actively listening, I always say that's the first step, getting the right sort of help. I had issues getting the right sort of help.
Yeah, so I really listened and came on board with you.
Came on board. That's the start. That was the start, okay? And then another thing was, as we were going on and making the changes, and I was getting a wee bit better, and I was a bit better how I was responding to my pain. Learning how to respond to my pain was a big key factor.
Yes, your response was quite extreme and quite fearful, and yeah.
And you got me back to basics. The breathing really helped me. taking you back to basics. But another thing along the road, where I remember you saying in one session, maybe, do you think you maybe need my support as much? Or I don't know how you phrased it, but maybe we're like, oh, can I kick back on the support a little bit? But at the time, I needed a reassurance. I knew what to do, but I still needed that reassurance. Reassurance is vital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't, it wasn't as if I was just using you as a crutch all the time. It was just, I just needed that wee bit of reassurance, because you do lose your way a wee bit and you get a wee bit frustrated, especially if the pain's still there. So you still need that support. Even though you think you're getting on a little bit better, I still think you need that reassurance. So some people just need that little bit of reassurance. I needed it.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you a year and a half down the line. So to a wee respect, I still need it, but not as much, because I remember last year, just before COVID hit, I'd been seeing you for 4 months, and then COVID hit. And I remember having a couple of panic attacks about that, because the sessions obviously stopped, yeah. And I remember saying at the time, and I was like to Daryl, and I was getting a bit anxious again. And he goes, he said, I see a wee bit of difference in you in the last couple of weeks than I had in the 4 months that we were doing good progress. And I says, I know, I said, I'm getting worried. I says, because I'm not going to be able to see Claire, and Claire's, I'm not going to, they've stopped the sessions, and I started getting myself in a bit of a panic, you know, and that was real, you know, that was real.
And do you think you would panic now?
And I did have a couple of, no, see, that's what I'm saying, no. I like now having our chats, because I think we're learning a lot from it. And we're learning. I'm still learning, and I love still to learn, and I know you're learning from it.
I love learning from you. Yeah.
Exactly, but I just feel I don't have that I'm not seeing Claire moment where I did before.
Yeah.
So there's
no
timing.
That's because I think that's because you're empowered now. You now know. You feel more grounded now with it, because I think you know.
Confidence. You gave me confidence.
Yeah.
You gave me confidence. You gave me trust in myself again. You know, you made me believe that I could be what I want to be again. You know, what I wanted to be back to. And I learned how to respond to my pain. And right here, right now, I've not had a spasm in over a year.
That's fantastic.
Which is great.
And you've just walked. How many steps was it?
And I do 10k steps, between 10 and 11k steps a day now. And at one point I was lying on the couch and I wasn't even walking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I went from total disability, but to walking over, 4 or 5 miles a day again.
Yeah.
Actually, 3.
And there's a lot of other little things that have helped, like looking at hormones and sleep and diet, and lots of changes you've made now to get to the place you're at now.
You had to put the building bricks together, because, like you say, I don't think it was just one thing. It was everything. My body was changing. I'm a woman of that age now. I know my body was changing, hormonal. You know what I mean? And I had put on extra weight, and I knew I hadn't done anything different than I'd done before, so I knew I was kind of going through that hormonal change. My sleep was terrible, but my sleep was terrible because my mind was so overactive about the pain. So when I learned to relax about the pain through your techniques of breathing and responding, how I respond to my pain, that helped to settle my head a little bit as well. So it's all about, there's so many different things. You need to get to the bottom of how people, what is actually, occurring.
Yes.
It's not. It's more than just back pain. It's more than just physical back pain. There's so many different things, and that's what you delved into, and that's what you found. Whereas everybody before had just been, it's just concentrating on the physical back pain side and not listening. Right? Okay, I'm a fitness instructor. I'm doing all your back exercises. I've been doing them for a year.
Yeah.
It's still not working. What's next? They never had a what's next. It was just, oh well, sorry, you've tried it, you'll just have to put up with it. And and that was the biggest mistake.
Yeah, thank you. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think that actually says it all in that little interview.
You need to gear it to your individual. It walks through the door is different, so you need to see what is wrong with that person, and like you say, and put together puzzle. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, and what we're teaching, what I'm going to be teaching them next week is what are the influences over pain, and with every individual, it'll be different influences.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely
and,
different
you know,
individual.
and some of it might be with you, some of it might be a bit structural, because you know there's a bit of an inflammatory disc, isn't there? There's a disc that's a little bit inflamed, but
Well,
just
I've got an epigenetic disc as well. It could be a wee bit of local inflammations in there, you know. So everybody's different, you know. And like you say, and then also another very important thing about the MRIs and the scans, I learned that, you know, paid out for them. And okay, it showed me degenerative disc, but like you say, most people at my age have got degenerative disc and don't have the pain. But like you say, the scans don't define you.
no, they don't. Well said, well said. Yeah, and they weren't helping you, because when you came to me, you were rock bottom, despite the fact that you'd had all these scans and all these explanations.
MRIs and injections into my back, and nothing had. I was still, you know, had the anxiety up to here, the depression. Gave up my job of 10 years that I love.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
managed that.
do you think those scans made you more anxious in some ways?
Probably they made me more frustrated because I didn't get an answer.
Even though even though you were told it's degenerative discs and stuff.
Yeah, I still had the pain, and one of the neurosurgeons had said to me, "We don't, Mrs. Dawson, I don't know why you have got pain in your back the way you describe, because you've got a healthy spine." He says, "I can see a degenerative disc," he says, "but other than that, there's nothing on that scan to constitute your pain."
Yeah.
So he couldn't give me a definitive answer. So I was then more frustrated because nobody can feel the pain apart from me. Mm-hmm. And it was very hard because I didn't think anybody was listening to me. Then you start to think, is this pain in my head? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because nobody's taking it seriously. And that all leads to the anxiety and the frustration.
Yeah.
Whereas when I came to you in the first session, you started to ask me about my pain. Mm-hmm. You started to, how did I feel about my pain? You know, all that. I've never been asked that question before. So it made me think about it in a different light. Mm-hmm. And then when you say, we'll get you back, I'm here to support you, and we'll get through this. Just hearing that. Now you're sitting there, and I'm going to be totally blunt there, you're sitting there saying, you'll get me through this, but you didn't know if you'll get me through that. You didn't know. You'd only met me. No, but you'd only met me once, right? So,
damn, you've caught me.
You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I don't know, I just had to hear those words, and hearing those words helped me immensely.
I think I was the first person to give you hope, and I don't think you'd had any hope actually.
No, I'd no hope. And that I remember saying to the doctor once, I went to the doctor every 3 weeks, crying for a year in his surgery, and I said to him, he said, "You might just have chronic back pain, and you just have to try and manage it, Mrs. Dawson." I get that every week for a year, and I said to him, "This is now giving me a mental health issue." I said, this physical pain that I've got in my body, I am now mentally messed up.
Yeah.
I think because nobody's listening to me. Nobody's helping me. Nobody's helping me. And I felt, until I came to you guys, you were the first people to give me hope, help, confidence, the whole lot, relief, you know, and that's why I needed your support, and that's why I need your support. Do you know what I mean? And I'm glad I stuck with it and got the support and worked the way through it. And like you say, making the slight changes, finding what worked for me, finding what doesn't work for me, and basically learning from you guys just to say, cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
Because I was always focusing on the negatives. Oh, I can't do this. I can't walk this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do this. And you used to always put it around the other way. What can you do? It's changing your mindset. That's a big thing, and that's where it went. I always remember you saying to me, "We need to change that before we move that," which I'm pointing to my body. That is right. So you said we need to change that before that, whereas everybody else past was trying to get me to do exercises, and I'm like, I'm doing exercises. It's not helping me.
You're a fitness instructor.
They tell me how to suck eggs, basically, and that was leading to my anxiety. And then the answer was just to give me pills, antidepressant pills, and painkillers. Yeah. And I'm now 1 year off all painkillers. So you know what I mean. So changing your mindset, giving person hope, giving the person empathy, and listening. That's my key words.
Thank you. That is absolutely brilliant. The students will get a lot from this interview. If you don't mind me sharing it with them.
I don't mind sharing it. No, okay. I just listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'm going to stop recording.